2.69 KDR, 2.7 KDR, 2.75 KDR, 2.99 KDR, 3 KDR, let's go, pi KDR, 3.2 KDR, 3.25 KDR. Okay, fine, I'll make an actual video. Welcome guys back to another episode of Skywars. Good to be back on the air with another episode. Today we're using Scrim. I actually wanted to use Scope, but then I remembered Scope has like the ugliest skybox I have ever seen in a PvP pack. Like how did they slip that up? I assume what they were going for in the pack I'm talking about is like having different skyboxes be programmed to show up at different times of the day, but then that kind of just didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that texture pack. I didn't even notice it before because I was using a custom sky. But this pack is okay. The only like two real problems is one, golden apples are purple for some reason, and oh wow, you survived, congrats. What was that frame drop? Once again, in other games the server isn't exactly in the best state. Like you can see me sometimes running around at full speed while eating. Just thought I'd point that out ahead of time so everyone doesn't flock to the comments like, oh my god, finally exposed Neon Light hacking, the ultimate hypocrite. And it just being a server side issue. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually cares enough for that to happen, but you never know. You never know. I've been getting a lot of subscribers recently. You never know. I do also want to take a moment to mention that I have a lot of Halloween candy, particularly lollipops and chewing gum, still left over in a bowl next to me that's been sitting here for like a while, and I'm really tempted to just plop one into my mouth, but I know I can't because the recording would suck afterwards. Pun intended. Anyways, so the main reason I haven't really been uploading is, well, you guessed it, school. But I don't really mind. I mean, I gotta enjoy high school while I'm still there, because it is my last year. And every YouTuber knows that like the wildest story time stories come from those strange 4 years. Although for me they really weren't strange. Like for most of my high school career, I'd say I've just been like the quiet kid that manages to intimidate absolutely everyone simply by existing. If you know the memes, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's what everyone perceived me as. I thought I'd be, like... I don't even know what I was thinking, like, going into this. I didn't really have, like, any expectations until, like, all the adults say, like, oh, it's gonna be, like, big and impactful and stuff, and then it's just literally the same as the past 8 years of elementary school, but, like, you can do... The only real difference is you now have the option to make even worse decisions than you were able to before. That is basically I got out of this. So school's been fine, give or take. I mean, I'm averaging high 80s in everything except media arts, which I'm averaging high 90s. I wonder why. Oh! Come on, I wanted to do it. I want to change my POV for a joke. Well, okay then. So school's still going, like, pretty fine. I'm doing well in all my subjects, and they're all, like, pretty understandable. They all make perfect sense. Every single one of them. I can manage the work easily. And then there's math. Now, here's the thing. Math isn't actually bad for me. it's strange. And it's strange in the way that the math this year is absolutely nothing like the math of previous years. The course I'm obviously referring to is data management, because that math course is barely even about math. It honestly feels more like an English course at this point, because basically for the past 3 years, or 3.5, depending on how your schedules get set up, math is difficult. Or, like, I mean, it's difficult, yes, but obviously if you put in the work and whatever, insert motivational quotes here, I don't know, it's okay. But from my personal experience, math kind of sucks. And math in the past few years, it's been like, you gotta memorize all of these equations and all the scenarios in which to use them, and all the exceptions and the things you can and cannot do, and you also gotta memorize exactly word by word why that is. And the test is in like 4 days, so good luck. But then data management came along, and it's completely different from like previous maths, in the sense that there's still equations, but there's like 3 of them. But you just have to spend the entire class figuring out exactly what every question is asking of you. Oh, by the way, in other games added these new splash screens, so I actually don't know why they added them. It's a very recent addition. I was even playing when there was like prototype ones that were just an orange screen would fade in and fade out. I don't really like them personally. Like, they're shot with shaders, so that means they're on Java Edition, which I guess technically qualifies as false advertising, but you know what? I'm ranked 17th in Skywars. I can't complain right now. So, data management, again, I'm not really complaining because I'm doing well in it, at least for now. I mean, it's only half of the semester. But I'm doing pretty well so far, and I hear that the other half is going to be more focused on just drawing graphs, which, I mean, it can't really be that terrible. Once you have your data, you kind of just go X and Y, put a line, X and Y, put a line. So I'm not really too concerned about the future, just... Okay then. I'm not like too concerned. This guy concerns me a little bit. But seriously, math has just been completely invaded by words and linguistics and semantics. It's like, it doesn't feel like math anymore. And it's terrifying. Like I still have to upload this video, but I was actually doing a video involving a lot of math that I was going to post but then didn't because a little child had a birthday party next door that I had to attend. So yeah, math is just no longer math. I don't dislike it. I don't really particularly like it because I mean it's still a math class. But it's so weird. And I just can't wrap my head around it. I feel like I should probably change the subject because I am not at all qualified to be talking about data management as a class. I mean, yes, I am taking it, but like that's about it. That's about the extent of it. I only know like half the course, so I can't really be the most reliable critical source of it. I just find like the whole concept completely absurd. But that's just my opinion. Also, I have this new texture pack which makes crossbows have the same animation, or animations, I should say, as they do in Java Edition. Just for parity, so that when on the off chance I do play Java Edition, I'm not like completely surprised by PvP detail like this. Speaking of Skywars, however, I did recently get invited into a guild, and I also have Opal rank. More importantly, I got invited into a guild one day, and I used to be part of a guild called Bunny, which earlier today, actually, I completely by coincidence ran into the guild owner, I think, or at least guild manager, if that's a thing. So I just that was nice, I guess. But the new guild I'm in is quite different from the Bunny Guild. It's called the Empire Guild, and basically, the story of how I got in begins one late autumn eve, where I was at my friend's and I was just grinding out Skywars because I had just learned that the Skywars Solos leaderboard exists, and that I might be in the top 30, and that the next few positions aren't actually too far away. So within the time span of 1 week, I just decided not to sleep and get an entire 1.6k wins in like 5 days, which for someone who doesn't play on the server, or really any server much, that is like an inhuman amount of Skywars games won. Like, that is the type of stuff people dream of achieving on a basis, at least most of them. I'm sure there's people on here who are like even better than that. A couple days go by and I get a Discord notification like, "Hey, you Neon Light?" And I'm like, "Yes. Would you like to join our guild?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't actually have any guild because the Bunny one I mentioned earlier, I just got kicked out of for some reason. Not by like anyone in particular, just the server has been strange, so I wasn't in a guild, and I'm like, well, guilds do something, and I completely forgot what they do, but they do something, so sure, what's the worst that can happen?" They're like, "Okay, so in order to stay in the club, in the guild, you have to get at least 75 wins a week." Not 75k, 75. I'm like, so I was just sitting there considering my options, like, do I tell them that this was like a one-time thing? So then I decide to do what's morally correct and simply say, "Yes, take me. I will carry your entire guild," knowing damn well I probably won't scrape past 10 wins a week with winter holidays coming up. So anyways, they take me in, and there's all these cool name tags. And I find that the guild is like, not only is the guild high level, but it's like max color, which I don't really remember what it means, but I remember that it means there's good players there. Like, oh no, this is gonna be like the biggest embarrassment of my career. I probably wouldn't find it embarrassing, but other people would find it embarrassing for me, and that's arguably worse. So I play around, I meet the quota and pass it the first 2 weeks, and then later on I come to realize, wait, this isn't even a guild full of like elite players. This is just a bunch of guys who want stats, and like, granted 3 of them are good, and there's like another 3 guys who are like sufficient to the guild's own standards, and then everybody else has like 3 weekly wins under their belt and are somehow just barely clinging on, finding excuses to stay in the guild. Like, I think the guild may or may not have set too high of an expectation for itself. Like, the guy Matt who invited me, like, he's one of the guys who actually upholds the quota and surpasses it on average, and I'm gonna die. I don't have enough stuff for this. And then there was like this other guy who also was like averaging 200 wins. And then I show up one day, I'm like, 200, 300, 140, 300, 400. Oh, by the way, guys, sorry, I don't think I'll be able to get that many wins because it's like Christmas is approaching. 400 win. So that was fun. Again, I don't actually know how guilds work, but it seems to me, at least from the numbers, that I may or may not be outperforming, dare I say, carrying the guild as of right now. Again, this could probably change at like any moment, and again, granted, this could still change at like any moment. Like, I have a pretty busy few months ahead of myself, but like, I don't know, I just found that pretty funny. What else is there to talk about? Ah, yes, the Bedrock SMP. Now, I'm sure everyone must have been very surprised when I posted that video. In case you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm, because I know nobody actually cares about what I do, but... Oh wow, this server's really laggy. Okay. Like, I kind of really did not want to apply to any... Oh, he's right here. Let me move. Let me move. Let me move. I learned this new trick on Reddit. Oh, nope. Oh. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'll bow spam if I need to. I have no shame in bow spamming. It's a legitimate technique. I probably butchered that word entirely, but we'll see in the recording how it sounds. Yes, pearls. I don't have the legal rights to say this, but not even close. I'm sure plenty of you might have been surprised that I actually applied to another server instead of starting another one of my own, and frankly, my reasoning is, I'm just too tired, man. It's just someone else's problem. I do still have like a couple funny stories I could tell about my story of getting in, which actually it's probably there's still probably going to be a couple more before this video comes out, because I am technically on the absolute brink of being allowed into the server. Let me explain. So what actually happened was, I was searching for like SMPs to join, and at the time when this was happening, I was like extremely busy. I think I still had like actually difficult subjects at the time, so that was that. Oh, it's the guy from last game. Oh, he's learned his lesson. Alright. So I was busy, and I saw this one server called the Bare Bones SMP, which I knew I had a pretty good chance of getting into, because if you remember, actually I don't remember if I streamed it or not, but I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I participated in a tournament on the Hive called the Hive Cup. It wasn't like an official server sponsored thing or anything. It was just called that. Anyways, long and short of that story, which is another story in itself, confusion, I know. I won that thing, and one of the players who I played against was this guy called Clouds, who ran an SMP known as Dovecraft, which then failed, I think. But then he met this other guy named Chucko, who, by the way, is Canadian, which I had learned recently, so there's a good chance I can probably walk to his house if I really wanted to. Did the other guy jump down? Yes, he did. Who was running another SMP called Barebones, and so they collaborated in adminning that SMP, and that was the SMP that I had found. So I think, uh-oh, I messed up. I still don't have the rights to say this, but not even close. So the Chucko guy was like admin, and then Clouds was like co-admin on Barebones. But then Barebones also failed, I think. I don't know, it just ended for some reason that I don't exactly know. And what ended up happening was Chucko and Clouds decided to do this again, but with the roles reversed. So now the player named Clouds, who I've met before via bullying him in a tournament, was now the admin, and this fellow Canadian named Chucko is co-admin on a new SMP that they called the Bedrock SMP. I know, they just snagged the best name on the market, so obviously I had to join. So by the time I got unbusy, I saw that Barebones isn't a thing anymore. They've now converted to Bedrock SMP. However, I didn't actually know that they converted. I just saw oh, Clouds is on Bedrock. I didn't even know he was the admin. I'm like, oh, Clouds, that guy, I recognize him, and he's on Bedrock SMP, so I guess that's probably my best bet. And I go in, and it's like, you have like a whole application process, which wasn't alien to me, of course. I knew that there would be some form of application thing, but I even looked into the Discord, and the Discord of Bedrock SMP in comparison to any other SMP's Discord, or, well, Bedrock SMP's Discord that I've seen before, is really neat, and has like a ton of actually useful channels in it. And I'm like, oh. I instantly started like reconsidering, like, maybe I should start a little smaller. Like, I don't know how Clouds got here, but maybe not. And we're pink glitching again. So anyways, I sent in my application. I actually was going more for like a sarcastic tone, because I watched a lot of other applications, and personally I hate like all of them. So yeah, I was going for like a sarcastic tone, like this is the thing that everybody else does. But my reputation already exceeds me to the point that I'm just gonna tell you all my stats, and you're gonna have to admit me, or else. I don't know. But, oh wow, this guy actually knows how to use a fishing rod. Anyways, you die now. After a while, I calmed down like a ton, because basically I went from thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like this is gonna be like, I'm gonna be going up applying against like Evident P and Icy, and like frickin' Ignacio Blade's gonna be there, and then I actually look at everything, and once again it's just a bunch of people who want clout. As mentioned previously, I am now in a waiting phase, because a grand total of 6 people have watched my application. Well, I mean, like 100 people have actually viewed the video, but 6 people from the server have seen the application and decided that they want me in. Some of those being the admins. However, I still don't actually have access into the SMP, because it's like, we're gonna basically accept you, but also like you're gonna have to wait before you can play, because we we accept people in waves because it's like more cinematically cool that way. Just like I'm like, cool. When's the second wave? Oh, by the way, we ran out of money to actually Luck 1000. Okay. We actually ran out of money to run the server, so we're ready to administer you now into the server, but unfortunately the server is down. Like, I over-prepared for this so much. But yeah, that's all I got in terms of time. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm still pink glitching. We'll get that sorted out. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and most importantly, subscribe.